Hello again.
Right.
What you just described there, it sounds very philosophical. Why I say that is because you say being aware of who is aware, and again you say that, but there's something aware of that, and then you say that something is aware of that, and then it's like a vicious circle, it's never ending. Is this
It's not a
something?
circle, in fact.
Is this something realistic, or is
Yes.
just some
Mm,
fantasy or imaginary thing?
yes. No, it's not. It's very, 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 it's probably the best advice you're going to hear in your life if you take it seriously. It's the best advice you're going to hear. I have no time to muck about with philosophy if it's just some way of indulging our minds. What I'm speaking as I speak to you, it comes directly out of this emptiness itself. The thing is, are you allowing that inside, you see, to follow it? What I'm pointing to is what is already so. I'm not asking you to get into some construction or to use your imagination and to develop some idea. I'm pointing directly to what is already as it is now. Not an accomplishment, simply a point of recognition of what is already here, which is not a process in which maybe the sense of a process may occur, might arise, but that is also watched. I'm really acquainting you again with your original seeing, which exists before all phenomena that can manifest, can only be present because that original seeing is here. I'm pointing you to that, to recognize that. I don't even want to say to honor it, because it is what it is. So are you following me? You see, this is the thing.
If it's that obvious, why is it so? Why does it seem to be so difficult then? If it's that obvious,
I don't know if I want to use the word obvious. For you, it's obvious for me. At present, it's obvious for me, but it seems for you, it seems like it appears not to be obvious. But because I am not speaking to you as a you and a me, I'm speaking from that place which is beyond you and me, actually, to that common seeing that I know is here, you see, from which the words, they emanate out of it, the concepts, they emanate out of it. But it is not an emanation itself. It is just here. So it is to that that I'm speaking, not to your mind. And do not trust the mind to carry out any instruction or to put this into some kind of practice. I'm pointing directly to this. If there is, let's try it and see. If there is even the power to perceive, are you not aware of it that you're perceiving? You may not have heard it put in this kind of way, and so the mind quickly judges it like, oh, perceiving the perceiving, oh, big, big, no, but that's just a reaction. In fact, it is already so. You know right now that you are conscious and that you're experiencing true consciousness. Is true or not? You know also that you're there and somehow sleep is coming and you can feel something watches that. Is it not true? You see? So even if the consciousness was leaving, there is something that watches this consciousness reducing in power. What creating do you need to do this? What philosophy is that? This is just pointing to something that is so simple. Even simple, I don't want to use the word that's simple, you see, because that's a kind of quality. And it is a qualityless quality.
so it's not something that needs to be achieved or anything like that.
Well, this is my question to you. Can you achieve it? Or can it simply be recognized that that is already there, you see?
But then I think what's the whole point of the satsang?
Is to recognize that so that you will stop worrying about other things. So that somehow your whole life expression is freed up to be whatever it's destined to express, and you may enjoy it for a change. You see? Rather than suffer it. Presently you're suffering it simply because you've surrounded it with all ill-conceived ideas about it and interpretation about something which is your original innocence, you see. It simply is what it is. It was there before beginnings because beginnings are observed to take place in it. And you are that watcher. I challenge you for that, you see, because you'd like to take 17 steps to it. And I'm pointing you directly and say, no, own up. Why are you pretending it's other than that? How can you say, oh, I suffer and oh, this, and why can I do this, and so on? So for me, I perceive it inside that this is a suffering condition because you're not happy while you feel displaced or, anxious about something. And you see, so I'm saying for now, begin to witness or recognize that even your anxiety is a phenomenon that is not, there's nothing, it's a variable, it's not constant. Something is constant even beyond the concept of constant. Is this more simpler than this? I don't know. You see? So if your mind takes it, then it will turn it into maybe philosophy or into something, oh yes, and you'll procrastinate about it. But I'm pointing directly. And the purpose and value of that directness is that once it's recognized, like something simply pushes in. I'm using no descriptions, no? But there is a sense, some recognition, which I cannot qualify to say there is a path to that. I'm meeting it directly. It's already there. The rest I'm not caring about. I'm throwing it out. The whole universe, I'm throwing it out, in fact. That courage, if you want to say, is there, having seen the source of where that universe is springing from. And it is springing from myself. And that's not a proudful thing to say. There's no arrogance in that. You can equally testify to that if you allow that seeing to occur in you. Satsang is only that place in which you are constantly being reminded of what you imagine you have separated from. You see, until that delusion is over.
I appreciate what you're saying, but it sounds like this recognition has to be formed into a habit. Is that so?
Then immediately I'm asking you to find out whose habit is it. And you don't like this question. You're deeply irritated by my question. You see? You want me to give it to you like, okay, okay, if you mix this and this, you get this. But I'm actually throwing you completely into your own core. Whose habit? You're saying, oh yes, I've got to develop this habit. But so whose habit is it? Could you find out, please? Whose habit is it? Don't assume, because in fact, all of what we consider to be knowledge is mostly assumptions. What you've picked up here and there. What is coming out of your own immediate and direct seeing? You won't look. It's too easy to eat off another plate. You look yourself so that this doesn't become unswallowed food. You look and see. Where are you really seeing from? That within which even God appears. Does it sound blasphemous? Check it in and see. Can anything be known if you are not there? You're earlier even than knowledge, because you know knowledge and no ignorance, you see. You are aware of truth and untruth at the conceptual level. But the truth, the non-conceptual truth, you're not aware of it. You are the non-conceptual truth. Therefore, you are the truth beyond the concept of truth. When you see that, even the word truth is not needed anymore. But perhaps for a while, some hidden mysterious power in the universe keeps it from you, because perhaps if you recognize it prematurely, you might develop arrogance. This is all I can say, because you are that.
So how is it that you recognize it and I don't?
Well, I don't know. My question is that I am confronting you that you do, but you just have the impression that you don't. And one day you will break out in laughter. I hope I'll be there to share it with you. At really how ridiculous it can appear to be. And yet at the same time, this lack of recognition causes immense pain. And not just pain, but atrocities, in fact, are carried out in the name of the false I that you are at this moment identified with it. So it's in your interest and the interest of all beings on this planet that you find out what I'm asking you to find out.
Thank you, Mooji.
You're most welcome.